Okay, I'm going to get started. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning in for the Year 3 parent information session for the autumn term. It's Miss Johnson here speaking on behalf of the Year 3 team, just to tell you a little bit more about what to expect this year and the kind of things we'll be getting up to. So let's have a look. The team this year are Mrs. Thorpe, who will be teaching Monday, Tuesday and Wednesdays. Myself, Miss Johnson, I'm teaching Thursdays and Fridays. Mrs. Hall is our classroom assistant, as well as Mrs. Brooker. Mrs. Hall works 4 days a week. Mrs. Brooker works 1 day a week with us. Other than that, she's our ELSA support, so she'll be coming into contact with the children outside those days as well. Miss Street, who you will know from last year, and Miss Hooton, who is also back and worked with some of the children last year. She's volunteering with us on a Thursday and Friday from next week. We're always there. If you have any questions before or after school, you can also email myself or Mrs. Thorpe, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. So, welcome to Year 3, but also welcome to Key Stage 2. It goes so fast, doesn't it? The children are already in Key Stage 2, and there is certainly a step up when the children get to Key Stage 2. So Year 3 is all about making that step up manageable for all of the children, whatever their stage. So yes, there's more demands in the curriculum, there's more subjects. For example, we do French now, which we didn't do in Year 2. And also, hopefully, at some point, we will be starting swimming. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So the demands on the curriculum are high, but as ever at Prince of Wales School, we like to make it fun, we like to make it inspiring, and we like to let the children find their way into learning that suits them best. So welcome back as well. In the current climate, it's a daunting return for some, but also a relief for others, and everything in between, basically. We have come back ensuring that the children are aware of the new routines and procedures in place in class to keep us COVID safe. And we're making sure that the children are aware of those every day. For example, the requirements for washing hands, minimising movement within the classroom, awareness of others around them. And we're doing that in a fun and friendly way so that the children feel comfortable and feel safe in the classroom. So in Year 3, we have a look at our learning powers. We do this across the whole school. This half term specifically, we're looking at resilience and how we can build our learning power to really get learning in this challenging year Key Stage 2 curriculum. So learning powers are all about ways in which we can learn better and learn deeper. Having resilience means that children get absorbed in what they're doing, excited about their learning, they manage distractions around them, they keep focused on the task, they persevere even when it's hard, even if they get it wrong. We do lots of learning about the power of getting things wrong, and it's okay to get things wrong. And noticing things around them helps them with their learning as well. So this term, if you're learning at home with your children, look at how resilient they are at getting on with things, and hopefully we'll see that resilience growing over the next term. That power of yet on the right hand side is all about that. Trying to avoid that situation where children say, I can't do it, and give up and throw their things on the floor and have a paddy and walk away. It will still happen, but we're learning ways to move ourselves around it to make it not feel quite so bad when we get things wrong, because getting things wrong is all about learning. So when you get the I don't get it, I just can't do this, it didn't work, add the word yet to the end of your sentence. You can do anything that you put your mind to, and that is the mindset that we're working towards in Year 3. Here's an example of our timetable in Year 3. You can see it's chock-a-block with lots of fun things to do. Each morning when the children come in, they'll be doing a mental math starter of some description. We've got a really big focus on times tables at the moment, and also number fluency. And that will be at your child's particular level. So we've already done some assessments at the beginning of this term. We know where the children are at, and they have work that's matched to that. So power maths every morning, followed by break time, where we play in a specific area in the playground, so there's no bubbles mixing together there. And then we have certain larger areas like the school field or the play trail at certain times during the week, so we get a nice range of activity at play times. Literacy comes after break, followed by assembly. All our assemblies are online at the moment, so we don't go to the hall, we don't mix our bubbles that way. So those happen in the classrooms. And then we follow it by read, write, ink, either the spelling or the phonics activity, depending on where your child is, and reading, class reading and AR reading come in there as well. We follow that up with lunch times. Lunch times are happening in the hall for the majority of the children at the moment, but we've split it up, so there's less children in there at the same time, and the children have specific areas in which they eat so that they're not mixing with other bubbles. Then they go out to play in their specific play areas after that. Lunchtime is a little bit later for Key Stage 2, so we need to make sure that they have a nice big snack so that they're not getting too hungry with all that learning happening in the morning. The afternoons are split up with a range of different curriculum activities. So we've got PE and science happening on a Monday at the moment. We've also got PE and PHSE happening on a Tuesday. On a Wednesday at the moment, this would be our swimming afternoon. Now, I said I'd get onto swimming later on. Due to the current situation, swimming is not happening at the moment, and we've recently, this is hot off the press, I think it's appeared on Facebook just recently, had notice from 1610 that will definitely not be happening until after October half term, if indeed it happens then. So this half term we're making up for it by doing lots of collaborative learning and extending our broad curriculum into Wednesday afternoon. And that's why we've got an extra PE session on the Monday to compensate for the fact that the children aren't going swimming on Wednesday. So this afternoon, actually, the children are looking at terrariums and they're building the layers of a rainforest in 3D. So there's a bit of design technology in there as well. Thursday and Friday afternoons are made up of a mixture of French, music and STEAM activities. Now, STEAM activities are science, technology, engineering, arts and mathematics, but also contain elements of our topics, so elements of geography and history as well. This week we're looking at art, and we're looking at the work of Henry Rousseau and looking at drawing plants. So lots of in-depth learning there and plenty of time to do it in. French would normally be first thing after lunch on a Thursday, but this week, because of the way things are working, we've moved that on until to next week as well. What I will do is I'll put an example of our timetable onto the blog, so you've got a reference there if you want to talk about what they've been learning at home. Sometimes useful to come across that and to kind of sort of give them a bit of a hint about what they've been doing. So over the course of the year, these are our topics. As I said before, we are doing rainforests at the moment. Lots of learning opportunities there across the curriculum, and the children are absolutely loving it. Autumn 2, we do a topic on polar expeditions, very exciting. We go into Stone Age and Celts in spring, followed by Romans. So 2 very geography-based topics in the autumn term and 2 very historically based topics, history-based topics in the spring term. And then a bit of a mixture in the summer term. We work on Jurassic coasts, so there's a history and geography and science element to that. And we go on to learning about the Olympics, so we build in sports and PE, and obviously our sports days come into that as well. So a good range of really fun subjects to get stuck into. Here's some of the resources that we've been looking at during our rainforest topic. specifically science and geography and looking at the layers in rainforests. We already had Bugman in this week, and that was very exciting, and that's inspired some wonderful writing. The work of Henri Rousseau, French artist from the 1800s, didn't actually visit a rainforest, surprisingly enough, but managed to do some wonderful paintings. So, a bit like us, we're not going to be able to visit any rainforests, unfortunately. However, we are going to be doing lots of painting and drawing and 3D and collage work relating to his artwork. And there's loads of lovely stories about the rainforest as well, the great kapok tree by Lynn Cherry being one of them. So in literacy, these are the kind of things in year 3 that we'll be learning about. So use of conjunctions, adverbs, prepositions. It's all the vocabulary, isn't it? It's using the present perfect form. So that means you have a person, the subject of a sentence. You use the verb to have, and then the past participle verb form to end the sentence. So which just means it says something like he has gone out to play rather than he's gone out to play. So it's using the proper forms of English. Starting to use inverted commas and lots more speech in stories, creating settings, characters and plots. In non-fiction, using headings and subheadings to break up their work and paragraph it. Lots of planning for their writing, discussing and writing down ideas, presenting things to other people, evaluating their own writing, and spending time improving it, which is often quite difficult for children at this age because they think, well, it's finished, let's move on to the next thing. But it's encouraging to look back, review and improve and move forward with their learning all in one go. For handwriting, looking a little bit more about joining now in year 3, and for those that it's appropriate for, there will be some children who that is not appropriate for, but diagonal and horizontal joins between some letters is where we're looking to head with that one. Suggesting how pieces of writing can be improved, not just their own writing, but writing of other children. It will helping others to grow their writing as well as themselves, all done in a really positive way. Suggesting how pronouns can be changed. Lots of children write sentences and repeat the noun in the sentences rather than saying he or she, so using those pronouns to avoid repetition. Checking for spelling and punctuation errors, and writing aloud clearly, and thinking about their voice in the classroom as well, being able to communicate effectively in different situations. So Power Maths continues this year. As you know from last year, it's our new scheme of work. It is exciting, it's fun, it's very practical, it's very hands-on, lots of problem solving and opportunities for children to dive deep into their maths understanding. It does involve working with others, it involves collaborating, it involves reflecting on their work and what they're learning about, and it is, by its name, a lot more powerful than a lot of maths teaching going on. So we are really pleased to have Power Maths in the school, and we're finding it really effective. There's daily problem solving within the scheme, and loads of visuals to help children with their conceptual understanding. It does promote the fact that every child can be successful with their maths, and like I said before, when we're talking about resilience, it's okay to make mistakes. So these are some of the things that we will be covering in numeracy over the year. This term, the start of this term, the unit that we're on at the moment is place value. So we're very much looking at the value of numbers. So the second bullet point and the third bullet point, ordering numbers, and also the fourth bullet point and the fifth bullet point. So that all comes into place value. So it's all about hundreds, tens, ones, counting up to 1,000, putting numbers in order, representing numbers in different ways with different equipment, estimating numbers, writing numbers in words as well as in numerals. And around that, we solve lots and lots of practical problems involving those ideas. After we've done place value, it's a natural progression to move on to addition and subtraction, both mentally and in written forms, and that's what we will cover in most of the autumn term. Will be devoted to that, and the top bullet point there links into the times tables. At the moment we're very much on recapping the 10s, 5s and 2s. That quickly moves on to learning the 3s, 4s and 8 times tables. Also counting in 10s, hundreds and up to 1,000 is really important in year 3. So those are the things that we're working towards. The read, write, ink and SPAG, spelling, punctuation and grammar, we look at on a daily basis. We have 3 different groups at the moment working at different levels within that. We've assessed the children since they've come back, and there will be 3 different levels of spellings coming home each week. So do look out for your child's group, and we'll make sure that you know that through the blog and through the home learning they're given as a paper copy. There's also a whole class text that we're reading together. We're reading The Iron Man at the moment. Just got started on that, so we'll be getting deeper and deeper into that text very soon. We also have opportunities within this session for the children to do AR quizzes if they don't have time to do them at home, so we can do those as well. We constantly review our read, write, ink and SPAG programs so that the children are accessing the right level for them, and the groupings are flexible so we can move children around depending on their outcomes. And I've already talked about weekly spelling, so there we go. So the dates for your diary were on the class newsletter. There are probably others coming in all the time as we find out what we can and can't do relating to COVID, but the basic ones are there. Note the parents' evenings and the class assembly, a magical STEAM week at the end of November. I'm getting Christmassy there towards the end. This presentation will also be online later, so if you want to scroll through it and find those dates, if you haven't got time to jot them down now. So all, in year 3, we know, the children know that they have a growth mindset. This means that they understand things are not fixed. They can change. They can get better at things. They can improve. So we want the children to believe that they are in charge of how smart they are because they can grow their brains. Their brains are like muscles and they learn by learning hard things. So they are going to get stuck in their learning, and that's a good thing because it means they're learning deeper and they're learning harder. They can achieve anything with effort and the right strategies, and even if they fail or make a mistake, it is a great thing because they can learn from them and they can get better. That's what we want them to do in year 3. We want them to meet this challenge head on, and we want them to get stuck, and we want them to overcome that because that is the way that learning happens most deeply. I think that is the end of the slideshow. So if there are any questions, if you would like to turn on your microphones and ask away, I will do my best to answer them for you.
Hi, it's Emma, Holly's mum.
Hello.
Hello, can I just ask a question about Power Maths, please?
Absolutely.
So obviously last year we sort of all tried to do as best we could with the work in the Power Maths book.
Yeah.
So have you just picked up from where sort of the children have left off, or have they started on a completely new bit? What sort of happens with what we might have missed, or what needs to be gone back over, or things like that from last year?
Okay, really good question. This was part of actually my input to the staff at the end of last year. We are very aware that children will have had a range of experiences at home as to where they've got to and what they've managed to get through. So the good thing about Power Maths and how it's organised is each year group starts in the same way with a unit on place value, which was obviously place value is important to everything children do in maths, and it will have been revisited throughout the year. But because the children started with that in September, before COVID came along, before everything, we know that that is a unit that the children will have covered in their year group at the right time last year. So it's a good place to start for everybody, and all children have begun their year groups level of work. Now, we are sure that there will be gaps as we go through, especially as we come on to the summer term topics that were missed last year. The teachers are all aware of this, and we're doing a lot of assessment before we start each topic, using materials from the previous year group to identify the gaps before we even get there, and then those children will be given extra intervention to get them through those gaps and move them forward back into their proper year group. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you. That's really helpful. I think my concern is just filling those gaps.
Yeah. We know that they will be there, and we're constantly looking out for them in each unit that we do.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions? I don't think there's any more questions, but thank you everybody for taking part. If you do think of something that we haven't covered, please do either email us or just have a chat with us before or after school any day. Okay.
If we email, do you want us to email both of you or just one of you?
It's fine. What we normally do is if we get an individual email, we will share it anyway, unless you specifically ask us not to. So so either, it doesn't matter.
Either.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you ever so much.
Oh, hello.
I was just saying thank you.
Thank you. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.